This course is organized in two parts. First, a complete list of the vocab in this course from A to Z to find the specific words that you need. After that, vocab topics like work, travel, food, and whatever situations you want me to discuss. If any vocab is missing, send me a message and I will try to add it as soon as possible. Once a week, there is a live lecture for this course where I answer your questions, add new vocabulary, and help you with other questions you have. If you don't attend the live, don't worry. I add all those videos to the course so you can watch them whenever you want. And if you have any live topic ideas, send me a message so I can turn them into videos as soon as possible.
All right, we've got a lot of really good phrasal verbs to look at, starting here with the letter A. So let's do it. And remember, if you have any questions, you can message me here. But of course, you can also message me on social media at For Your English on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And remember, do the exercises, do the reviews to really remember a lot easier and quicker. To act out. To act out, in this case, is to perform something with gestures, with your hands, to try to demonstrate something with movement, your body. I don't understand. Tell me again, what did your mom do when she saw the burglar in the house? Can you act it out? Now, the other definition of to act out is to express emotion. Especially strong emotion that you've held inside but now want to show publicly, show visibly. This is often rebellion, anger, and other emotions that you don't typically show people and that you hold in. Are you worried about your teenage son's behavior? No, he's just acting out. It's not that serious. To add up to. To add up to is to equal an amount. Something adds up to something. We use this if you're shopping. If you buy a few shirts, they add up to a certain price. Okay, so you got a haircut, a shampoo, and this gel. That adds up to $75. Now, another meaning for information to add up means to make sense, to be believable, correct. So if something does not add up, it's not believable. Something is not right. Something's not right. Mark said he was sleeping over at his friend's house, but didn't we see him at the party? You're right, it doesn't add up. He lied to us. To ask out. To ask someone out. To ask someone out on a date. First, to ask someone out can mean to invite someone that you're attracted to, someone you would like to be in a relationship with, to invite them to do something, maybe see a movie, go out for dinner. But to ask someone out can also mean to start a relationship. So it can be to go on a specific date, like seeing a movie, or it can be to start the relationship, to be boyfriend and girlfriend. If you like her, you should ask her out on a date. Otherwise, someone else might do it. I want to ask her out, but I don't know what we can do. I mean, maybe see a movie or go to the park. To ask around. To ask around is to ask numerous, several people the same question. We do this in order to get the best response, the most correct response, to get different perspectives, to see what different people think about something. I'm not sure what time we should leave. Maybe we should ask around to see what everyone else thinks. I agree. We should ask around because we don't want to leave too late. All right, that's it for the A's. You're off to a great start, so keep it up. Again, message me, do the exercises, and keep going. All right, we made it to the B's. And let's see what we got, all right? To back out. To back out of something. To back out of something is to not keep an agreement. To not do what you said you were going to do. This is to go back on your word. Basically, it's to change your mind. I hope you know that if your company backs out of this deal, we are legally able to sue you. So don't do it. Lisa's not coming. She backed out. She said she was too busy. To back up. The first use here, to back up, just means to move backwards. Back up. Your car is too close. Back up. Second, to back someone up means to support someone, to be there to help them. If you back someone up, you're there. If someone's insulting your friend, you need to back them up. You need to support them because you're their friend. We also use this when talking about information, research, facts. We need to back our opinions up with these things. That's the support. Thanks for backing me up before. That guy was being a jerk. Your writing in this essay is excellent, but you don't back up your opinions with any facts. If you don't back up what you're saying, you have no proof. You need to support your ideas. You need to back them up. To be after someone or something. If you're after someone or something, you're really looking for it. You're chasing it. You want it. And again, if you're after a person, it sounds like you're literally running after them. You're searching for them. If you're a cop and you're after a criminal, you're driving around looking for them. Maybe you're chasing them on the streets. But if it's information or something like that, you're searching for it. You're really trying to find something. Mark is after Lisa's heart. He's in love. Can I hide out here? The cops are after me. For something or someone to be along. To be along means to arrive, but it sounds a little bit more formal, and we most often use this for transportation. I'm sorry, you missed that train. The next train will be along in 1 hour. Again, in a more formal sounding way, we also use this to describe when a person will arrive, especially if it's an event, a party, but more formal. You're the first person here. Lisa said that she will be along in about 30 minutes. To be away. To be away on something. First, if someone is simply away, it means they're not present. They're not there. They are somewhere else, but just for the moment, not permanently. But to be away on holiday, on vacation, on anything is a longer period of time. Hello, doctor's office. No, I'm sorry. Lisa is away right now. Can I take a message and have her call you back later today? Hello, you have reached the school administration office. We are away on summer break. Please call back after September 1st and we will respond to you as soon as possible. To be down on someone or to be down on something. To be down on someone is to be very critical, kind of criticizing someone or demanding a lot, and especially being kind of negative, maybe even a bit hostile towards the person. To be down on yourself means the same, to be demanding too much of yourself, being very critical of yourself, and this, it can cause something like depression or other strong emotions like that. No one supports me. Everyone's down on my ideas, and it causes me to be down on myself and to feel a bit depressed. To be down with an illness. If you're down with an illness, it means to be sick with something. Down with the flu, down with a cold. But it's something that you should recover from. It's not a very serious illness. Nothing life-threatening. Sorry I couldn't come in yesterday. I was down with the flu. It was bad, but I'm feeling better now. To be fed up. To be fed up with someone or something. If you're fed up, you're irritated. You're angry. Not pissed off, not really angry, but you're pretty frustrated. You've had enough. I'm so fed up with your attitude. Change it or I'm not talking to you anymore. To be in. To be in is the opposite of to be away. So if someone is in, they are present. They are at the office, at home, etc. Hi, Miss Lisa. Is Mark in? No, I'm sorry. Mark's away right now. Can I take a message? For something to be in. For something, talking about a project or something you have to finish, to be in means to be finished, to be turned in, to arrive completed. Your assignments must be in by 3 p.m. on Friday. To be in on something. To be in on something means to be part of something, to know what's happening, to participate in it. If you're not in on something, it means you don't know what's happening. You're out of the loop, unaware. Are you in on the surprise party? No, I had no idea. Put me in the loop. What's happening? For something to blow up. First, if something blows up, it explodes. It pops because there's too much pressure. We can also use this to talk about someone's attitude. If a person explodes, it means they explode with frustration, to really just to get super angry. You put too much air in the balloon. That's why it blew up. Mark was really fed up with our boss and he blew up and he started shouting. It was a disaster. To blow something up. To blow something up means to add air to something, like a tire, things that we inflate. We pump the air into it. Balloons, floaty things on the water, stuff like that. Oh, before we go for the bike ride, we need to blow up our tires. For something to break down, for someone to break down. First, if something breaks down, we're talking about a machine or a vehicle. And if it breaks down, it goes kaput. It stops working. You cannot use it because it's not operational. My car broke down in the middle of the highway. It was terrible and I was super late for work. Now, if someone breaks down, it means to have an emotional breakdown, to kind of have a crisis, to go a bit crazy, probably because of stress. She was working 80 hours a week and she just broke down. She had to stay home for the whole weekend and just sleep and recover. To break something down. To break an idea down is to simplify an idea piece by piece so that it's more easily understood. I didn't understand that math equation. Can you break it down so I can understand it? To break in, to break into something. To break in, the noun here being a break in, is to forcibly, using force, not with a key, to enter a space, usually a house or a vehicle. Often this would mean breaking a window or smashing the door in. Breaking the door. The thieves broke in and they stole all of his jewelry. Isn't that terrible? Now, to break something in means to wear something so that it starts to feel more comfortable. Often if you buy new clothes, if you buy new sneakers, the first few times that you wear them, they don't feel so comfortable. They feel kind of stiff. So you have to break them in. It means to kind of stretch the fabric, especially with shoes. Shoes take a little while to break in, to start to feel more comfortable. And what we talk about here is to have that worn in feeling, to feel like it's more comfortable and properly sized for your own body. I love these new tennis shoes, but it's really taking a while to break them in. It's a good style, but they still don't feel very comfortable. For news to break. When news breaks, what we call breaking news means that there is very new news that just happened. And the idea is that it's very important. It's breaking, so it's new and important. You need to know about it. We have breaking news regarding the political situation and blah, 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 blah. To break loose. To break loose is to escape, to flee, to get away. He tried to kidnap her, but thankfully she was able to break loose. To break through. To break through is to successfully deal with something, making progress. The noun here is a breakthrough. For science, a breakthrough is often synonymous with discovery, a great advancement, great progress made. Despite the sexism, she was able to break through and enter the sphere of science and have an amazing career. So that is talking more abstractly. But to break through something means to actually bust through, break something in order to enter, either by breaking it or possibly by avoiding it, bypassing it. If you break through a door, you smash it, you destroy it. If you break through a wall, you smash the wall down. I don't know how, but our dog broke through the fence. He's tough. To break something off. To break something off is for something to be separated by force. And now that it's separated, the thing is kind of broken. So we can break off a piece of food if we want to share it. But if it's something like a device or a cup, something that should not be separated, and you break a part off, it's broken. It's now missing a part. He crashed his car and he completely broke the back bumper off. Are you eating a candy bar? Oh, I'm so hungry. Can you break off a piece for me? Additionally, to break off a relationship means to end a relationship, to stop seeing someone, to stop dating someone. I heard you broke it off with Mark. What happened? Is it true that he cheated? For something to break out. If something, usually an event, breaks out, it begins suddenly, quickly, little warning, like a fire, conflict, a war. These things don't happen with our knowledge in advance. It happens quickly, and then we find out and respond. The revolution broke out so fast, the government was by no means prepared to respond. To break out in something. This is related to your body, and if we break out in something, it means to do a lot of something, like to sweat a lot, or to get a lot of things on your face, like acne, to get a lot of it and to get it very quickly. We call that a breakout if we're talking about acne or a rash, like a scratchy area on your body. After running just a couple steps, he broke out in a sweat. He's really out of shape. My acne's been terrible. I keep breaking out. To break out of something or to break out of a place. If you break out, you escape. You break free. Whatever was holding you back or whatever was confining you, holding you in a place, you get out of. We can also use this with abstract ideas like depression, sadness. You break out of those feelings. I need to break out of this negative thinking. It's really holding me back. To break up. To break up with someone means to end your relationship. It's the same as breaking it off. But the noun here is very common. It's a breakup, and we've all experienced breakups. She's still very emotional from the breakup, so be nice to her. To bring about something. To bring about something is to make something happen, for it to be the consequence, the result of something. Historians still don't know what brought Historians still don't know what brought about the rapid change in society. What brought about your bad mood? Are you okay? To bring someone or something along. Here, to bring someone along with you is to take them with you. To take something along means to take it with you as well. If you're going to school, take your backpack along. If you're going to a concert, it might be fun to bring your friends along. If you're not busy, you should come along with me to soccer practice. I can bring you along in the car if you want. To bring the price down. To bring the price of something down means to make it cheaper, less expensive, to reduce the price. They brought the price down because they just weren't selling many units. For something, to bring something else on. This is to cause something to happen. Usually something negative. It's the reason for something to happen. Most often events or illnesses. He was a smoker, which really brought on his lung cancer. What do you think will bring on the change in society that we need to improve ourselves? Bring it on. When you say bring it on, it's used to accept a challenge with confidence and excitement. And this expression doesn't change at all. It weighs 200 pounds. Do you really think you can lift it? Yeah, bring it on. I can do it. To bring up a child. To bring up a child is to raise a child, to nurture a young person and to help them grow. They didn't have much money, but their mom did a really good job of bringing them up. To bring up something. To bring up something means to mention something, to make it part of the conversation. When we're at my parents' house, don't bring up that I'm pregnant. They will go crazy. To be burning up. If you're burning up, you have a high temperature, you have a fever, you feel very warm. Wow, you feel like you're burning up. You should stay home today and get some rest. That's the B's. Review this video, do the review, and let me know, of course, if you got any questions. I will see you in the C video. All right, it's C time, so let's do it. And we're going to start with to call around. To call around is exactly the same as to ask around. But if you call around, you do it using your phone. Again, this is to find something out, to get many perspectives, to get the information you need by asking several people and not just one. I'm not sure what time the store actually opens. Let me call around just to see if anyone knows. I'll call around to see if any of my friends can help you move your stuff. To call someone back. To call someone back is to return someone's phone call. Maybe before you weren't available, so now you need to return their call. You need to call that person back to see why they called. I'm busy right now. Can I call you back in like 30 minutes? Sure, I'll be here. Sure, I'll be here. Call me back. To call off something. To call something off is to cancel something, to cancel an event. Not enough people were going to attend, so we had to call it off. To call on someone. First, especially at school, to call on someone means to pick someone. So maybe the teacher needs some student to give the response, but nobody is raising their hand. So she calls on someone. If no one volunteers to speak, I'm going to call on one of you. So who knows it? Second, to call on someone or something means to use their knowledge or support to help you do something. I called on my father's insight in order for me to fix the car. I called on my training to help me in that difficult situation. To call someone up. To call someone up is just to call someone, to dial someone, to talk to someone on the telephone. And to call someone up does sound a little bit more informal than just saying to call someone. I can't talk right now, but I'll call you up tonight, all right? To calm down. To calm down is just to relax, to take it easy, especially if before you were feeling nervous or anxious. Just calm down. There is nothing to worry about. To not care for something. If you don't care for something, it means you don't like it. It's not your cup of tea. I don't care for baseball. It's too slow. It's boring. Oh, your friend Lisa? No, to be honest, I don't really care for her. She's kind of a jerk. To carry something over. To carry something over is to transfer something to a later point in time. Usually here we're talking about money or credit. My cell phone plan allows me to carry over my unused minutes and data to the next month. You paid me more than you had to this month, so I'm going to carry that amount over to next month's payment, and you will owe me $50 less. To catch up with someone or to catch up on something. First, to catch up with someone can mean to talk to someone after a long period of time of not seeing each other. It means to talk about the things you've been doing recently. Oh, last night I caught up with Mark. It turns out that he got a new job and his son's really doing well in school. It was nice to catch up. The other meaning of to catch up with someone or a group of people means that they were ahead of you. Maybe they were making progress on a project and you were behind, or it can be physical. Like if you're in a race and you want to catch up with someone, it means you want to get to where they are and probably also get ahead of them. I was sick all week, so I really have to catch up on this project. I don't know how, but just at the end of the race, I caught up with the leader and I took first. To change over to something. To change over is to transition, to make a change from one thing to another. TVs just aren't selling anymore. People are watching TV on their computers. So what we're going to do is change over from TVs to laptops. To check in to check out. To check in to check out, that is to go to your hotel, to get your room key. And to check out is to return everything, pay anything that you need to, and leave. Get out. We can't check in until 3 p.m., so maybe let's go to a cafe. To check out something. To check something out means to investigate, to check the validity of something to see if it's true or untrue. I really don't believe what he said. Let's check it out. I'm going to check on the computer. To check out someone. Now here, to check someone out is to quickly look at someone's body. Most often because you're kind of physically attractive. So maybe you check out their butt, or you check out a woman's breasts, or some feature of their body that gets your attention. She caught me checking her out while we were standing in line, and it was really embarrassing. Check it out. Check it out means look at this, look at that. Hey, check it out, it's happy hour. That means we get half-price drinks. To check up on someone. To check up on someone is to see how they're doing, what they're doing, or maybe to see if they're doing what they should be doing. You better shut up. The teacher's coming to check up on us. Oh, just 1 second. I need to call my son to check up on him. He said he wasn't feeling too well today. To cheer up, to cheer someone up. To cheer someone up means to put them in a better mood, to try to make someone feel better. To make someone happier by doing something nice, maybe telling a joke, whatever you have to do. If you want someone to feel better, as a command, you can say, cheer up. She had a really bad day today, so let's try to cheer her up by taking her out for dinner. Cheer up, stop worrying about it. To cheer someone on. To cheer someone on is to support someone, either by just making loud noises if it's something like a competition, or to give them words of encouragement, to say things that motivate that person. We can also say to root for someone. Are you cheering on the team in blue or the team in red? Personally, I'm rooting for the team in red because they are the underdogs. To chip in for something. To chip in is to help, to contribute. It's usually either with effort, resources, or money. We're thinking of buying something really nice for grandma for her birthday. So can you chip in like $50? It's going to be a lot of work to fix up this room. But do you think you can chip in some of your time to help? To clean up. To clean up is simply to clean, to tidy something or to tidy something up. There's another meaning here, which is for a person to clean up. If a person cleans up, it means that they can go from looking pretty messy and dirty and then look really nice, especially if you're wearing a suit or just nicer clothes. Your brother really cleans up well. I saw him this morning and he looked like a slob. But now that I see him with his hair done and a nice shirt, he looks really cleaned up. The house, I know, the house is a mess right now, but I'll clean it up on Sunday. To come across something. If you come across something, it's to find something by accident, not on purpose. I was cleaning the basement when I came across these old photo albums. Isn't that great? To come across as plus adjective, or to come across as a plus noun. You can come across as studious if you're studying English. You can come across as a jerk if you're being rude, if you're being inconsiderate. I don't like them. They always come across as arrogant and rude. Yeah, I agree, especially him. He can really come across as a jerk. To come apart. If something comes apart, it separates. Often things come apart unintentionally. We don't want them to come apart. But also sometimes we need them to come apart. I don't get it. How can I make this piece come apart? It seems impossible. To come down with something. If you come down with something like the flu or a cold, it means you get sick. So it's not a very serious illness again. It's more temporary and not so severe. I'm not going to go for the run today. I came down with a cold and I just can't breathe right now. To come in. come in to a place is to enter. You come into your house. You come into a building or a room. Hey, you better be dressed because I'm coming in. Droop. Come in is also a great command to tell someone to enter. If you don't want someone to come in, say don't come in. Don't come in. Come in, the door's open. To come in for work. Here, to come in means to go to work. If you're sick or if you can't go to work for some reason, you can call and say, oh, I'm sorry, I can't come in today. I'm really sick. I haven't seen Mark at all today. Did he come in? No, he couldn't come in today. He had a doctor's appointment. To come forward. To come forward is to volunteer yourself for a task or to give evidence for something. We need at least 50 people to come forward to volunteer to help us find this missing child. Police are asking anyone with information to come forward. You will not be in any trouble. To come up with something. If you come up with something, it means you think of an idea. It's to have an idea that you thought of, that you created. I can't come up with anything for how to increase sales. What can we do? Who came up with the idea last quarter? For something to come up. First, for something to come up means that a topic was brought up. It was discussed in the conversation. Did your boss mention giving you a raise today? No, the topic did not come up. Second, for something to come up means for something to happen unexpectedly, for something just to happen or occur. I was going to go to the conference, but then something came up at home. My son got sick, so I couldn't go. To count on someone. To count on someone is to depend on someone, to rely on someone. So, you count on people who are reliable. Also, if you're counting on someone to do something, it means that you expect them to do it. You are depending on them to do it. They should do it. Are you sure that we can count on your brother to do this project? Of course, he's very trustworthy. To cross out something. If you cross something out, you draw a line or you scribble through it. That's to cross it out. This can just be to eliminate an option, to show that something on a list has been accomplished or purchased if you're grocery shopping, or for whatever reason that you cross something out. Students, you can cross out the second required book on this list. We will not be using that this semester. To cut back on something. If you cut back on something, you're consuming less of it. You're not having as much of it. Do you want another piece of cake? No, thank you. I am cutting back on sweets. To cut down. To cut something down is to make it fall and hit the ground. Usually, we cut things down with a saw. Now, to cut down on something is the exact same as to cut back on something, to consume less, to have less of something. Please remember to turn off your bedroom lights. We're trying to cut back on electricity. If we don't cut down on it, it's going to cost a lot. To cut in. First, to cut in means to interrupt a conversation, to stop someone from speaking so that you can say something. Sorry to cut in, but how do I get to the stadium? Second, when driving, to cut in front of someone or to cut into someone's lane is to pass someone and then go in front of them. And this causes the other person to probably swerve or to have to adjust themselves. It's very impolite to cut in front of someone while driving because it doesn't give the other person enough time, and it's dangerous because you're very close to the other vehicle. That asshole, he cut right in front of me. He nearly drove me off the road. Finally, to cut in line means to not wait your turn and to try to enter the line closer to the front. Wait, is that guy cutting in line? Yo, get to the back of the line, no cutting. To cut someone off. If you cut someone off, it means you remove their supply. You're not giving them any more of something. Ma'am, I think you've had enough to drink. I'm going to be cutting you off tonight. Do you need a ride home? To cut off. To cut something off means to remove something with something sharp. Everyone at the gym cuts off their sleeves. I guess maybe because it feels better. It feels cooler. To cut out something. If you cut something out, it's usually with a scissors. And we're talking about removing something, usually from a paper, like a newspaper. And we cut it out. We remove it by cutting it. Oh, look, there's a coupon for a free dinner tonight in the newspaper. Cut it out for me, okay? Cut it out. Cut it out means the same as stop. Stop it. Enough. Kids, stop arguing. Cut it out. To cut out, to be cutting out. If you're talking to someone and they're cutting out, it means you have a bad connection. Sometimes you can hear them, but sometimes you can't. You're cutting in and out. It's a minor disruption, and it happens for a brief period of time, but it's very irritating. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said. You cut out. Can you repeat it? To cut out food. To cut out a specific food. If you cut out a food, you eliminate it from your diet. You don't eat it anymore. I used to eat a ton of bacon, but I cut it out because it's just not good for my heart. All right, that's the C's, a lot of C's. So get going, review, do the practices, do the exercises. I guarantee it'll help you learn faster. To divide something up. To divide something up is to distribute it, to share it among people, or to put something into pieces so that it's easily shared. I hope he has a will, so when he dies, the land is easily distributed among his children. Because if he doesn't divide it up, then how will he share it among all of his children? To do away with something. To do away with something, the something usually being a law or a rule, means to stop something, to stop doing it. This can also be something that people practice or a norm, something that's typical in society, but it is done away with, meaning maybe people stop acting that way. After World War II, all European Union countries had to do away with the death penalty. To do something over, a do-over. To do something over, called a do-over, is just to try to do something again. A second attempt. You suck at this game. You crashed right at the beginning. Do you want to do it over? To draw something out. First, to draw something out means to extend it too much. And here we're usually talking about time, to make something last longer than it should. That speech was torture. It was supposed to last 30 minutes, but somehow he drew it out to 2 hours. To dress up. To dress up is to wear nice clothes, to dress fancy. For dinner tonight, do I need to dress up or can I wear a t-shirt? To drive up the price of something. If you drive up a price, it means you're making it cost more. You're forcing it to cost more, to be more expensive. You should really drive a hybrid vehicle because that way you don't have to worry about them driving up the price of gas. To drop in, to drop by. If you're dropping by someone's house, you're visiting with very little notice, no warning, and you're probably not going to be there for very long. So you go somewhere, not with a lot of warning, not really planned out, and you probably won't spend too much time. Mark's going to drop by for a couple minutes because he wants to see the new TV. To drop something or someone off. If you're dropping something off, you're taking it somewhere and then leaving it there. So you're taking it from point A to point B. But you will not stay with the thing or the person that you're dropping off. Lisa, I need a ride to the park. Can you drop me off? For something to drop off. If something is dropping off, it's decreasing. The value of gold has really been dropping off since October. The popularity of Xbox has been dropping off since the release of Nintendo Switch. To drop out. To drop out of school is to stop attending school, to not graduate. If you drop out of high school, you are a high school dropout. If you drop out of university or college, you are a college dropout. Bill Gates was a college dropout, but he still managed to create a really successful company. There's another meaning here, to drop out of a competition. It means to stop competing, to quit. I couldn't compete against them. They were too good, so I dropped out and I'll try again next year. All right, that was the D's. Do the practice stuff, do the review, and I'll see you in the E video. All right, you made it to the E's. We don't have very many here, so let's do it. To eat out. If you like eating out, you like going to a restaurant to eat. It's to go outside of your home and to eat food somewhere else. Now, if you go to a place like a restaurant and you order food, but you take it back home, we call that takeout. Do you feel like eating out tonight? No, we kind of have to dress up, right? Let's just order some takeout, maybe Chinese, to end up doing something. To end up doing something is to eventually do something or to finally decide to do something. What did you end up doing last night? You know, I thought about going to the party, but then I actually just ended up watching TV. Wow. That was all of the E's for now, so let's continue to the F video, all right? We got the F's, some really good phrasal verbs, so let's take a look. For a plan, for something to fall apart. If something falls apart, especially an event or a plan, it didn't happen. Really, because it failed to happen. You wanted it to, probably, but it just wasn't able to materialize. Or it didn't work as it was supposed to. Did you all go skiing last weekend? No, it fell apart because we couldn't get a vehicle to drive up there. For someone to fall apart. If someone is falling apart, they are becoming a mess. They are not in control of their life. We can say that their life is falling apart. He used to have a really nice job, family, a car, but then he started doing drugs and his whole life fell apart. To fall down. To fall down? Well, that's just if something falls and hits the ground, falls to the ground. Careful in the closet, those boxes up top, they'll fall down if you're not careful. To fall back onto something, to fall back onto someone. To fall back on someone or something means to depend on something, especially something you have in reserve, something for just in case, for emergencies. If your new business isn't a success, maybe you have to fall back on your old job. You need to go back to working at your old job. If you run out of money, maybe you need to fall back on your parents. You need to ask your parents for money. The government needs more social welfare programs so that poor people can fall back on these safety nets in cases of emergency. To fall behind. If you fall behind, you get behind schedule, meaning you probably will not meet your deadline. You can also fall behind a group, meaning that other people in your group are in front of you for whatever reason, maybe in a race or in terms of working on a project. You fell behind and now everyone else is a few steps ahead of you. Oh, we're falling behind. If we don't hurry up, we're not going to finish on time. You have to go faster. You're falling behind the group. Do you need more help after class? To fall for someone. To fall for someone is to get romantic feelings for someone. Basically, to fall in love with someone, to really like someone. I wasn't attracted to him right away, but then I really fell for him after I saw how nice he is with children. To fall into a category. To fall into a category means that something is classified a certain way. When applying to universities, your application can fall into two categories: early applications and regular applications. For something to fall out of something. If something falls out of something, it separates from the interior. Basically, the thing escapes. Maybe you have an old wallet, and because of that, some of your money falls out and you lose it. Or if you have too much stuff in your purse and you're digging around for stuff, some things will probably fall out. Oh God, my keys fell out of my pocket when we were sitting in the train. For hair and teeth to fall out. If your hair's falling out, you're losing your hair. It's coming out. It's falling out. If you're losing your teeth, they're falling out. So brush your teeth, floss your teeth. She was a very attractive lady until all of her teeth started falling out. For something to fall off of something. If something falls off of something, it means that it became detached and fell. So for example, if you have a cup on the table and maybe you have a cat that pushes it off, your cup falls off of the table and hits the floor or falls on the floor. I must be gaining weight because one of these buttons just fell off my shirt. To figure something out. To figure something out is to understand it, to find the answer. Did you figure out the answer to number 3? No, I've been trying to figure that one out for like 30 minutes. It's tough. To fill something in, to fill something out. To fill something out is to write information in the blanks on a document or on a piece of paper. When I say blanks, I'm talking about the spaces that don't have any writing, the areas where you write something. On a test, that's where you write the answer. If you're going to a doctor, that's where you fill in your personal information and why you're visiting the hospital. Before you can see the doctor, I need you to fill out these documents, okay? To fill something up. This is to fill something like a cup to the top with something like water or milk or whatever you're drinking, to the top to make it full. When you get gas for your vehicle, we can also say that you are filling your vehicle up, to fill your car up with gas, to put gas in your car. Oh, you can put more coffee in there. You can fill it up. This is going to be a long ride, so I'm going to stop at the gas station to fill the car up. To find something out. To find something out is to discover something, to learn information that you did not know before. Why is it so loud downstairs? I'm going down there to find out what's going on. All right, we did the F's, of course. Get to the review, do your practice sentences, say them out loud. I'll see you later. Let's continue with the G's, all right? To get an idea across. Getting an idea across is to communicate an idea, to tell someone something, to make something understandable, or at least to have it heard. It's very hard for me to get my ideas across at work because nobody listens to me. We need to get it across that exercising is good for him, to get along with someone. If you get along with someone, you have a good relationship. You enjoy each other's company. Do you want to go to the party tonight? Are you talking about Mark's party? No, we really don't get along. We don't like each other. To get around. To get around means how you move around a city or a space. It's usually when we're talking about the place where we live. If you have a car, you get around by car. If you use public transportation, you get around by bus, by train. And if you enjoy walking, we can say you get around on foot, or we can say you get around by walking, by biking, by running. How do you normally get around the city? Usually I get around by bus, but if it's really nice out, I like to get around by biking. To get around a problem. Now, to get around a problem is to solve a problem, to resolve it, or maybe even to avoid it and not even deal with it. This is to either fix the problem or to not fix it by avoiding it. We need to get around this problem, but how? I know you used to have an employee that could get around these types of problems by solving them, but I don't think we have anyone capable of it, so maybe we can just ignore it. For someone to get around. For a person to get around here means that a person sleeps, has sex with a lot of people. That guy is really cute. Yeah, but I don't know. I heard he gets around. He sleeps with a lot of people. To get around to something. Finally, the last get around is to get around to doing something. To finally do something after a period of not doing it, either because of procrastination or maybe you were busy. But anyways, you did not do it earlier, but now you have the time or you have the focus to finally do it. Did you wash the dishes? No, I was too busy, but I promise I will get around to doing it tonight. To get away. First, to get away can mean to escape, to flee, to break free. Have you ever heard of a getaway car? This is a car that criminals use, especially after committing a crime or robbing a bank, to escape their getaway. More commonly, to get away means to go on vacation. So a getaway can also mean vacation, a trip. We have a really nice getaway plan this weekend where we're going to be spending it at this lodge in the woods. It's impossible for me to get away from my boss. No matter what, he always finds me. To get away with something. To get away with something is to do something without being noticed, without being seen, or without getting in trouble for doing it. So if you did something bad, normally you're punished, you get disciplined. But if you get away with it, it means either you were not seen doing it, or they just decided not to punish you. Did your mom punish you for arriving home so late yesterday? No, I got away with it because I told her that my car broke down. To get back. If you're getting back from somewhere, it means you are arriving. Usually we get back home. What time are you going to get back tonight? We're going to have a meeting, so I probably won't be back until 9 p.m. To get back something. To get back something is to receive something that you had before, and now they're finally returning it. You're getting it back. You're getting it back. Can I borrow the car tonight? Only if I can get it back before work tomorrow morning. To get back at someone. Now, to get back at someone is to retaliate, to take revenge on someone. So maybe someone did something mean or bad to you, and you want to get back. You want revenge. So you try to get back, to take revenge. She embarrassed me in front of the whole class. I swear I'm going to get back at her. To get back into something. To get back into doing something. If you want to get back into something, it means you want to start doing it again. It is to become interested or involved in something again, because maybe you took a break or you were too busy, but you want to do it again. Are you still studying German? I've been too busy with work lately, but I really hope I can get back into it after peak season. To get on with someone. If you get on with someone well, it means you get along with them. You have a good relationship. You enjoy each other's company. Thanks for inviting me to meet your friends. We really got on super well. To get in a vehicle. To get in or to get into a vehicle is to step inside of it, to open the door and sit down. The command is get in. Generally, it's only for vehicles that have a steering wheel, seats, and doors. But you might also hear it for a building or for a room if someone wants you to come inside. Are you Mr. Mark? I'm your Uber driver. Get in. He has a really nice sports car, but it's so tiny that it's really hard to get in. To get in. When we talk about arriving home, the time that you get in is the time that you go home, that you arrive home. What time do you normally get in after work? Lately, I've been getting in around 6. To get over an illness. If you get over an illness, it means you recovered from it. You're feeling better, no more symptoms. I know you were sick on Friday, but are you feeling well enough to come in on Monday? Yeah, I got over my cold and I'm ready to go back to work. To get over a person. To get over someone is to forget about the past relationship, to move on, to not worry about them anymore, and to be capable of continuing your life without them. Lisa, you have to get over Mark. You weren't even a good couple. Stop thinking about him. You have to move on. Get over him. To get together? Get together. To get together with someone or a group of people is to meet for social purposes. We don't get together to go to work or to do something for business. We do get together for social events. So maybe you have a work picnic or you want to have a get together with friends to celebrate something. Some guys from work are having a get together, playing poker this weekend. Do you want to come? Sure, it sounds like a great way to get together with the guys and not talk about work. To get up out of bed. To get up is to get out of bed, to wake up, to get ready for the day. Rise and shine. What time do you get up? I usually get up out of bed around 6. To get up. Now here, to get up just means to stand up, to stop sitting and to be on your feet. Stop sitting down like that. The boss is coming. You look super lazy. Get up. To give away information. To To give something away, talking about information that was not known, maybe was secret or private, means to reveal the information, to tell someone, to inform someone. Here comes Mark. Don't give anything away about a surprise party. To give something away, a giveaway. Here, to give something away means to give it to people for free. We call this type of event where lots of people get free stuff a giveaway. She's retiring, so she's giving away all of her supplies to her co-workers. You should fill out this form because then you have a chance to win something during the giveaway. To give away the bride. To give away the bride is the female in the wedding, the groom is the male. To give away the bride is when her father basically hands her off, gives her to the groom during the wedding, after he walks her down the aisle. I always get so emotional when I see the father of the bride walk her down the aisle and give her away. To give something back. To give something back is to return something. To return something that you had borrowed. You give something back to the person who had lent it to you. Just 1 second. I need to give Mark his pencil back that I borrowed. To give in. If you give in, you reluctantly do something that you probably said you would not do, or is to do something that maybe you didn't want to do, but you finally agreed to do it. Generally, you disagreed at first, but then you finally agree reluctantly to do it. She didn't want to stay up so late, but her boyfriend convinced her, so she gave in and she did it. To give out something. To give something out is to give the same thing to many people. It's to hand something out. And for example, on Halloween, we give out candy to lots of children. I love going to expos like this because they always give out so much cool swag. To give up something. To give up something, usually talking about a habit that's bad for your health, is to quit, to stop doing something. You need to give up smoking. It's really hurting your health. Now, just to give up, this means to quit, to admit defeat, to accept failure. This is impossible. I can't do it. I give up. To go after someone. To go after someone is basically the same as to be after someone, to be chasing someone, to be trying to find someone. If you run away with my clothes after I go in the pool, I'm going to go after you. To go after a dream, to go after a goal. If you're going after a dream or a goal, you're really trying to accomplish your dreams. You're trying to fulfill your goals, to be successful. No matter how big your goals are, you need to go after them with 100% of your effort. To go against someone, to go against something. To go against someone or something means to compete against someone or to oppose something or someone. To not like it, to want to stop it. Our team is going against your team next week. Who do you think's going to win? I'm going against lowering the taxes because the government needs taxes to help fund programs. To go ahead. To go ahead and to go ahead with something is to start something, to start doing something, to begin. She never replied to my messages, so I went ahead and I started decorating without her. To go back. To go back somewhere is to return to a place. You guys continue the hike, but I need to go back because I have to take a call. To go out. To go out is to leave your home for any type of social event, parties, eating out, anything that's outside of the house. Let's go out tonight. I feel like doing something fun. To go out with someone. To go out with someone is going on a date with someone, spending time together, and it also actually means to be in a relationship with someone, to be partners. We've been going out for 10 years and we still go out on dates all the time. To go over something. If you go over something, you review it. You look it over, you check it for errors. I'm worried that I might have some typos, some spelling mistakes in this document. Can you go over it for me just to check? To go over to someone's house. Now, to go over to someone is to go and visit them. It's to stop by. I'll be a little late today because I'm going over to Mark's for a little bit. To go without something. To go without something means you suffer because you don't have enough of it. You lack it. It's basically deprivation. We've been going without clean water for a week now, and it's really hard to find clean drinking water. To grow apart. When you grow apart from someone, it means you stop having a close relationship, either because your personalities change or because your interests change. You no longer have anything in common. We got divorced because we grew apart. We became different people. To grow something back. To grow something back means to grow, for example, your hair again, maybe after cutting it short. Some animals can grow parts of their body back. It means to regrow, to get something to return. Some lizards can grow back their tails after they have been broken off. I really think you should cut your hair short because if you don't like it, you can just grow it back. To grow into something. To grow into clothes means to be small when you first get a piece of clothes, but to get larger and for them to finally fit you. So at first the clothes are too big, but you grow into them. You're still growing, getting larger as a person, so the clothes will eventually fit you. I always buy my kids clothes that are too big so that they can grow into them and wear them longer. To grow out of something. Now, to grow out of clothes means to get too big for the clothes. So the clothes no longer fit. You're too big and now they are too small. You are growing so fast. Everything I buy you, you grow out of. Stop growing. To grow up. To grow up is to become an adult, to age and to become more mature. We can also say that you grew up somewhere. The place where you grow up is basically like your hometown, or it's where you spent your childhood or your early years. I can't believe you grew up on a farm. That's interesting. A good amount of G, so review, do all of the practice you need to, and let me know if you have any questions. We've got some really good H's. I hope you guys are learning a lot. Let's continue. To hand something down to someone. If you hand something down to someone, you are giving them something that is already used. We call something that's used, that is given to someone else, especially clothes, a hand-me-down, or plural, hand-me-downs. Younger children hate getting hand-me-downs from their older siblings. But remember, basically, to hand something down is just to give something that is used to someone else. It's not always clothes, and it can be nicer things. When my grandfather died, he handed me down his favorite watch. I'm the youngest child, so I get all the hand-me-downs. I don't get any new clothes. To hand in something. To hand in something is to submit something, to turn it in, especially assignments or projects. You must hand in your assignments before class. If you don't, you will fail. To hand something over. Now, to hand something over is to give something to someone, to turn it in, but unwillingly. Usually you don't want to hand something over. What do you have? Did you take that from my purse? Hand it over. To hang in there. To hang in there means to keep doing your best, to do something, to continue doing it, even though it might be difficult or challenging, or maybe you just want to stop. It's also an expression of support. Hang in there. Don't give up. How are you doing in the advanced class? Oh, it's tough. Yeah, I know it's tough, but hang in there. I think you can do it. To hang on. If someone tells you to hang on, they're telling you to wait. Just a moment. Just a minute. I'm sorry, she's away right now, but if you hang on just maybe 2 minutes, I think she'll be right back. To hang up the phone. If you hang up, you end the call. You end the conversation. He got really angry and he hung up without even saying goodbye. To hold someone back. If you hold someone back, you are preventing them from doing something. You're stopping them. Things can also hold you back. Time holds us back from doing more things that we want, and money holds us back maybe from buying all of the things that we want. I could get any of these jobs, but the only thing holding me back is experience. To hold back emotions. If you're holding back your emotions, you are trying to prevent your emotions from being expressed. So you feel the emotions inside, but you're trying to not show or exhibit the emotions. You're hiding your emotions. His speech was so emotional that I couldn't hold back my tears. Hold on. To hold on is to wait a short time. It's the exact same as to hang on. Hold on just 1 minute. Let me check. To hold on to something. To hold on to something is to use your hands to firmly hold on to something, to not let go. It can also be using your arms to hold on to something, especially if it's larger. Can you hold on to my jacket for 1 second? I don't want it to fall on the ground while I tie my shoes. Hold up. Hold up? Hold up means wait. Stop. Sir, hold up. You forgot your wallet. A hold up. To hold someone up. A hold up can be a robbery. When someone steals all of your money, they tell you, hold it all up. Hold it up. I think it's because you have to hold up your arms. A hold up. Now, a hold-up can also be something that just means like a temporary problem, something that's stopping you from continuing, stopping you from making progress. What's the hold-up? Why is everyone standing in line? Why isn't the line moving? Oh, there's a hold-up with the computers. There's a problem. So a hold-up can be a problem, a hold-up can be a robbery, and yeah, that's a hold-up. To hold something up. To hold something up is to hold it up, to keep it in the air or to keep it lifted. Oh, can you hold it up just a little bit more? Oh, perfect. We'll nail it in the wall right there. To be hung up on something. If you're hung up on something, you're worried about it. You're anxious. You are thinking about it way too much. Stop thinking about it. I'm really hung up on what might happen if she loses her job. I mean, it would be devastating. That's the end. Time to review, all right? This is the phrasal verbs course. We are on the letter K. We've got a handful to look at, so let's do it. To keep on doing something. To keep on doing something is to continue doing something, to not stop. You're doing a great job on the project. Keep on going. Don't stop. You're going to finish it on time. To keep something from someone. If you keep something from someone, you don't tell someone information. You keep the information from them. You don't tell them the secret information or the private information. You knew she cheated on me, but you kept that from me for 2 years? To keep something out. To keep something or even someone out means to prevent them from entering a room or a space or a building. To not allow in. Close the door. You're letting all of the bugs in. We want to keep them out. To keep something up. When someone tells you to keep it up, they're telling you to continue, to keep going. It's also kind of encouraging. It's a way to motivate people. Keep it up. And you are doing a great job studying English. So honestly, keep it up. Our sales were through the roof this quarter. Great work. Keep up the hard work. And that was the case. So make your examples, do the review, and message me if you have any questions. You are rocking it. You are doing a really good job. We've got some L's to look at, some really good phrasal verbs. So let's continue. To let someone down. If you let someone down, you are disappointing someone. I failed 2 classes this semester, and that really let my parents down. They were super disappointed in me. To let someone in. To let someone in is the opposite of keeping someone out. It is to allow someone or something to enter, to come inside. The dog has been outside for 5 hours. Let him in. He's going to die in the hot weather. To log in, to log out. To log in is to sign in to a website or a database. It's to enter your username and password. And when you are finished, you sign out so other people cannot access your information. Okay, so click here to log in. Perfect. And when you're finished, remember to log out. To look after someone, to look after something. If you're looking after someone or something, you're taking care of it. You're watching over it, basically protecting it, keeping an eye on it. I'm busy on Tuesdays because I always have to look after my grandma. To look down on someone or to look down on something. If you look down on someone or something, you think less of it. You don't think it's as worthy. It's inferior. A lot of people look down on Chinese products because they think that it's made with less quality. To look for something. Are you looking for something? Well, then it means you're searching for something. You're trying to find something. Give me just 1 second. I'm looking for the email you sent me. To look forward to something. To look forward to doing something. If you're looking forward to something, especially an event, it means you're really excited. You can't wait. You're anticipating it. I'm really looking forward to going on this trip. It's going to be so much fun. To look into something. When you look into something, it means you investigate it, you research it, you try to find more information. There was a robbery yesterday, but no suspects. So the police are looking into it to find out who committed the crime. To look out for someone. To look out for someone is to watch over someone, to protect them, to keep an eye on them, to make sure they're okay. I'm always looking out for my brother to make sure he's all right. He's doing okay in school. To look out for something. To look out for something means to be vigilant, to be checking for something, examining for it, being careful and cautious. And when we say look out, it means be careful. If you're hiking at night, make sure to look out for wolves. They're dangerous. To look something over. If you look something over, it means to examine it, to check it, to make sure it's accurate and well done. I just finished the rough draft of my paper, so I'm sure it could use some improvements. Can you look it over for me? To look something up. To look something up is to research something, to find out more information about it. I don't remember the specific statistic. Let's look it up to see what it was. To look up to someone. If you look up to someone, it means you respect them, you venerate them. You admire them. I really look up to my parents for everything they've done for me. They're great people. And that's the L's. So of course, do the review, make some examples, write them and say them out loud, and I'll see you soon. This is the M phrasal verbs. Let's get started. To make out. To make out with someone is to kiss someone and to touch them physically, to feel someone up, to kind of grope, but with permission. It's to, put your hands all over them, kissing, a lot of kissing. We met at the club, we went and got some pizza, we were pretty drunk, and then we just started to make out. To make something up. Do you make things up? Well, that means that you lie about things. You create, you don't tell the truth, and you kind of invent stories. That is to make something up. Wait, so you made that up? She didn't really steal your bag? Why would you make that story up? To make up. To make up with someone is to forgive someone, to forgive each other after a dispute, disagreement, or argument. You make up, you make things right. Are you and Mark still angry? No, we made up. Everything's better now. To make someone up. This can be to put makeup on someone, to make someone's face look better, prettier. And usually this is for women. And makeup is what you wear on your face. The eyeliner, blush, and those kinds of things. Don't come in. I'm making Lisa up right now. I want it to be a surprise how good she looks. To make someone up to be something or like something. This is to make someone sound like something or to make someone, to give the appearance of someone acting or behaving a certain way. Oftentimes we use this to make someone seem bad or to try to give our opinion or perspective about a person. And oftentimes it's negative. We make someone out to be a mean person. We make someone out to be generally negative, but sometimes positive. You really made him out to be a nice person, but he's actually quite rude. Your friends were really nice. Before I met them, you made them out to be jerks, but they're the nicest people I've ever met. To make up an exam, a makeup. If you have to make up an exam, it is to redo an exam, to do it over. You were not able to attend the first time, and so you have the makeup. A makeup exam, a makeup test, a makeup quiz, makeup homework. It's stuff that you were not present for, and so you get more time to do it, or you get a new opportunity to do it. Excuse me, teacher, I'm going to be absent on Friday. Is it possible to take a makeup exam next week? To mix something up. Now, mixing something up, the noun here being a mix-up, means to confuse two or more things. It's to mistake generally also, because you thought something or someone with something else. You mix two things up. You confuse them. It's confusing something. Oh no, I'm sorry. I thought my appointment was at 7 p.m. I mixed it up. I thought it was at 7 a.m. No, that's not Mark. That's his friend George. How did you mix them up? They're completely different. To move along. To move along is to move or to get out of the way. Oftentimes you will hear this as a command. Move along. Keep moving. Especially if you're blocking an entrance or blocking a walkway. The line is over here. If you're not waiting in line, please move along. You're creating a barrier. That was the M's. Do the review. Do your exercises. And of course, message me with any questions. Okay. P time. Let's take a look at the P. Phrasal verbs. To pass away. To pass away, that means to die. It's a nicer, more polite way to say it, especially if you're speaking to someone who lost a loved one, someone who knows the person who died, especially if you're at a funeral or giving your grievances, saying you're sorry to someone. You can say, I'm sorry for your loss. It's sad to hear that so-and-so, this person, passed away. I'm sorry for your loss. At least he passed away peacefully in his sleep. To pass out. To pass out is to faint, to lose consciousness. Something like, some people pass out if they see blood. Some people pass out or faint because of exhaustion. There's lots of ways or lots of reasons why you might pass out. Don't show her your cut. She's very squeamish. If she sees blood, I promise she will pass out. To pass out something. To pass out something is to give out something. To give the same thing to many people. If you're in a class, the teacher will pass out the homework because you all get the same homework. If you're at a conference or a meeting, hopefully they will pass out some materials to you. Before we start the meeting, Mark, could you pass out the folders with the data? To pass over something. If you pass something over, it can be to skip something or to avoid it. Bypass also works here. That means that you skip something maybe for later. So we're going to pass it over and maybe we'll look at it on Tuesday. Or this part isn't very important. We'll look at it next time. We really don't have enough time in class to discuss this part of the history. So let's pass it over for now. And if we have time later, we will talk about it next week. To pass up something. To pass something up, usually something good or decent, something you might actually want, is to decline it, to not take the opportunity, or to say no to a chance, probably because you have something better or there's something more important for you. So while it's something good, you still do not take it. I had to pass up the opportunity to take the promotion because if I took it, then I would have no time to spend with my family. So I passed it up for now, but maybe I'll accept that promotion in the future. To pay someone back. If you pay someone back, well, that is to return money to them. To return money to someone that lent it to you before. It's to return the money that you owe someone. I lend you the money, and then hopefully in the future you will pay me back. You do the same if you take a loan, except you also have to pay extra interest. I forgot my lunch money at home. Can you give me $5 and I'll pay you back later? To pay for something. First, to pay for something is just to purchase something, to spend the money in order to get it. Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna pay for this lunch. Remember, I still owe you from before. Now, another use here of to pay for something means that you will be punished for something, or someone might retaliate because you did something bad. So, If you pay for something, it means someone will take revenge or that you will get in trouble for it. So you do something bad, and there will be consequences. I can't believe they stole our luggage. If I ever find them, I swear they're going to pay for it. To pick out something. To pick something out is to choose one thing among many options. So you have several choices, and you have to pick something out, so you pick one of them among the many options that you have. Basically, it's to make a choice. Pick out one of these ties. Which one do you like the most? To point something out or to point someone out? If you point someone or something out, you're indicating, showing it, drawing people's attention to it. Yeah, so what? What are you trying to point out? I don't see what's so important here. Well, I'm pointing out that she lied to us about being busy at that time. To pull away. To pull away means to gain in distance, to put distance between you and someone else, especially when we're talking about a competition like running. So if you pull away, it means you are getting a good lead. Everyone else is far behind you. Look at him go. Look at him pull away from all of the other runners. He's doing a really good job. We can also use this when talking about the score of a game. When a team starts to have a much bigger lead, for example, if they have 100 points compared to 50 points, as the lead continues to grow, they are pulling away. Their lead is growing. Next, to pull away from someone means to draw yourself back, to create distance. Usually here, because of discomfort, you pull away because maybe someone's getting too close or you see something gross. He tried to put his arm around me and I pulled away. I am not attracted to that dude. To pull for someone, to pull for a team. If you pull for someone or if you're pulling for a team, it means you support them. You're cheering for them. You're rooting for them. This is going to be a really good match. Who are you pulling for? To pull in. If you pull in somewhere, it's to drive into a closed space, like a driveway, a parking lot, or a parking space, or a parking spot. Slow down. This is the entrance. Pull in right here. To pull off something. If you pull something off, you manage to do it. Here we're talking about tasks, assignments, goals, and objectives. So if you do them, you pull them off. You are successful. You got us courtside tickets to the Bulls game? How did you pull that off? That's amazing. Good job. To pull over. If you pull over, you are stopping your vehicle and putting it on the side of the road. Cops, if they're following you and they turn on their lights, they are trying to pull you over to the side of the street or the road. And if you don't stop, the cop might say, pull over, pull over. I can't remember. They either live on this block or the next one. Just pull over right here and we can walk the rest of the way. To pull through. To pull through means to recover from an illness, to get better, to recuperate. And now with to pull through, an illness, it can be severe. We can talk here about cancer or other severe illnesses. But it can also be talking about less severe illnesses like the flu or maybe even a more severe cold. The cancer was very severe. We thought he didn't have a chance of making it, but somehow he pulled through. To put something across. When we say to put something across, almost always an idea or a concept, it is to explain or state that idea or concept very clearly and understandably. to say something in a very easy to understand way. You still don't understand what I'm trying to say? Jesus, how can I put this across so that you can understand it easily? To put aside money. If you put money aside, you are saving money. You're putting it in your bank account or you are investing it. We put aside as much money as we can each month for emergencies. To put a game away. When a team or a person who is competing puts a game away, it means to take such a large lead in the game or the competition that it's basically guaranteeing victory. So if you're playing soccer and it's now 9-1, you have basically put the game away. It's almost guaranteed. Of course, you never know. Something might happen, but you have basically put the game away. They put the game away in the second half after they scored their third goal. There was no chance for the other team to recover after that. To put something back. If you put something back, you're putting it in its original place, where you found it, where it was before you put it somewhere else. We're going to an antique store, so be very careful. If you touch anything, if you move it, be very, very careful when you put it back. To put something down. If you're putting something down, it's in the air currently, you're holding it, or it's not on a solid surface, and you're putting it back on a surface. It is to set something down. Don't pick that up. It's fragile. Put it down. To put someone down. If you put someone down, you are insulting someone. It can also be an expression just to make someone feel stupid or dumb. We call this a put down. A put down is basically an insult. I felt really put down when the teacher showed my grade in class. I don't know if she did it on purpose to embarrass me, but it was really like a put down, basically an insult. To put a child to bed, to put a child down to bed. If you put a child to bed, you are taking them to their room, maybe reading them a book, doing other bedtime activities, and then covering them with a blanket. You're basically preparing them for bed. For a baby, we can also say to put a baby down to bed or to put a baby to sleep. You don't have to pause the movie. I'm just going to put the baby down to bed. To put something off. Uh-oh. If you're putting something off, it is to procrastinate, to wait to do something you should be doing now, to postpone doing it. So you're being kind of lazy if you put something off. We really need to start studying for the test. You have to stop putting it off. Stop watching TV and start studying. To put out a fire. Literally, the first meaning here, to put out a fire is to extinguish the fire. Basically to kill the fire, usually with water or to smother the fire with dirt or other substances like that. Before we go back inside to sleep, we have to put out the fire, so go get the hose. Additionally, to put out a fire can mean to solve a problem, to avoid a crisis. If we don't address this problem right now, we're going to have a huge problem. So we need to put out this fire before it spreads. To put out a problem. Now, to put out a problem is the exact same as to put out a fire when talking about solving a problem, resolving it, or avoiding the problem, or avoid making it any worse. We really need to put out this problem. What are we going to do? To put something together. If you put something together, you assemble it. You construct it, you build it piece by piece. If you have any furniture at your house, you have probably had to assemble or put together the furniture. You have to connect the pieces, connect the bolts, use a screwdriver or something to put it all together. The new chair arrived, but it's not assembled, so I'm going to spend the afternoon putting it together. Additionally, talking about plans or things you would like to do, to put something together with someone can mean to make a plan, to arrange to do something. Yeah, let's put something together. If you're not busy on Saturday, maybe we can go to the lake. To put up with someone. To put up with someone is to tolerate someone, to be able to handle someone's personality. It doesn't mean that you enjoy their company. In fact, you probably don't. You can tolerate them. So they're not driving you crazy. They're not intolerable, but you can tolerate them. You can bear them. It's just, it's okay. Not terrible, not great. I can only put up with his behavior because he's a great salesman. Otherwise, I would probably ask the boss to fire him. To put on something. To put something on is to put clothing or other accessories on your body, to wear something. But not wear it, because wearing is the state. I'm wearing this shirt, but before I was wearing it, I had to put it on. I had to get dressed. Maybe you should put on something nice. I don't think you want to wear a shirt to the dinner we're going to. A lot of P's, so let me know if you have any questions. And of course, do the exercises, all right? We got the R's here. Let's get going. Number 1, to run into someone. If you run into someone, you meet them. You see them unexpectedly. You did not plan to see this person. You cross paths. You run into each other unintentionally. Hey, you'll never guess who I ran into at the store. Our old neighbor. To run over something or to run over someone. Ouch. If someone runs you over, they drove over you with their vehicle. Here's their car. Here's you. If you get run over, your whole body, you're probably dead. But you can also just run over someone's hand or their foot, and that's less serious. I heard that last night some drunk guy tried to run across the highway and he immediately got run over by a car. To run over something or to run through something. Now here, when we're talking about something that you need to review or to check for errors, it's to go over something. That's to run through something or to run over something. It's to practice also, to rehearse, to feel more comfortable with the material by looking at it again. The play is tomorrow night, so everybody is getting together so that we can run over the script and make sure that nobody forgets their lines. To run away. For someone to run away, first, can just mean to escape unexpectedly, so someone else does not know that you are trying to flee or to get out. The bullies were trying to hold her down, but she managed to run away. Now, for a child or any person who's still living with their parents, to run away is an attempt to leave the house, to flee, escape from your parents because you don't like the situation at home. For younger children, this is often insincere. They come back after maybe an hour or so, maybe just because they're upset. But usually if you're a teen or an adolescent and you run away, it's probably because of more serious reasons and you might not come back. She had a tough childhood, and when she was 16, she ran away from home and moved to California. To run out of something. If you run out of something, you have none of it left. It's gone. You've used it all. Never mind, we can't make omelets because we've run out of eggs. That was the R's. Good luck with the review and keep going, all right? Let's do the S's. To send something back. To send something back is to return something because you don't want it. If you're ordering food but you decide it's not very good, you can send it back. Send it back to the kitchen. If you get a package, you can send it back if you want to get your money back. Maybe it didn't work or you weren't happy with the product. So send it back, mail it back. The steak is too well done. I'm going to send it back. To set an event up. When we set an event up, we're talking about organizing or arranging the event to make it possible. Wow, you set up this entire festival in 3 days? How did you set it up so quickly? To set someone up. Now, to set someone up is to trick or trap someone, oftentimes to make it seem like someone did something, even though they didn't. So if someone wants to set you up for a crime, they're going to make it look like you committed the crime, even though you didn't. That is called to frame someone. I didn't do it. I swear, they set me up. They're trying to frame me. To set someone up with someone. Finally, to set someone up with someone means to try to introduce two people, to start a relationship, to arrange a relationship, to introduce two people who don't know each other in order to try to get them to start dating. We should set up my brother with your sister. I think they would get along really well. To shop around. If you're shopping around, it is to compare prices. You're looking for the best deal by seeing what everyone has to offer, not just by going to one place. If you shop around, it does mean that you either go to different websites that sell stuff or you go to actual different stores. I'm not ready to buy this TV just yet. I think if I shop around, I might be able to find a cheaper price. To show off. To show off is to act extra special for people who are watching you. It's basically to be boastful. I bet you he's going to try to show off to this girl by boasting about how well he plays sports. To sleep over. To sleep over somewhere, that is to spend the night at a place that's not your home or not the typical place where you sleep. Often we sleep over at friends' houses. I'm too drunk to drive home tonight. Can I sleep over at your place? To sort something out. To sort something out is to fix something, solve something, to resolve a problem. We have to sort this out. The numbers don't match. What did we do wrong? To sort someone out. Now, to sort someone out is to make things clear, to bring someone down to earth, or to basically discipline a person in a way that makes them realize their bad behavior. I'm sick of his cocky attitude. One of us needs to sort him out so he starts acting normal and behaves well again. To stick to something or to stick with something. To stick to doing something is to continue doing something, to not stop, especially one particular thing. You're a really good singer. You should stick with it. Keep doing it, and you'll only get better. To switch off something, to switch on something. To switch something on or off, talking about a device, an electronic device, or maybe something that uses electricity, is to start it, to connect it, to turn it on or to turn it off. Before you go, switch off your lights. We're trying to save electricity. That's the S's. Review, do the exercises, and message me if you got any questions. Let's look at the T's. Here we go. To take after someone. If you take after someone, it is to resemble them, to look like someone. Now, here's the thing. If you take after someone, it can be regarding their personality or appearance. So you might take after your mother because you are both quiet and not very outgoing. But you might take after your father in a physical way. You have the same facial features, the same kind of hair, the same color. More like that. You really take after your father in terms of your appearance. You have his eyebrows. But in terms of your personality, you really take after your mother. You're very calm and loving. To take something apart. When you take something apart, that is to disassemble something, to purposefully separate it into pieces. The lawnmower stopped working, so I'm going to take it apart to see if something happened to the motor. To take something back. To take something back is to return something. If you take something back, you go with it the entire way. While if you send something back, someone will deliver it for you. So for example, someone delivers a package to you in the mail. It is sent to you. Or the people who work for a delivery service will take it to you. But if you take it back, that means you do the entire sending process, not someone else. The new TV isn't working. I'm going to take it back to the store. To take back an insult. If you take back something that you said, it is to apologize. To basically say sorry and that you did not intend to say what you did say. He called my dad an alcoholic, so I threatened to kick his butt if he didn't take it back. To take off. If you're flying, to take off means for the plane to enter the air. That's takeoff. To take off. What time does your flight take off? We should maybe leave 30 minutes earlier. Now, for something to take off, like a business or a product, means to be doing very well. Selling well, to be very successful. The new restaurant is really taking off. It's doing very well. And for a person to take off means to leave quickly, in a hurry. I'm sorry I can't talk more, but I have to take off. I only have 5 minutes. To take off work. When talking about work, to take off means to have an absence, to take a day off, or to not go to work that day. No, I'm sorry, I can't babysit your kids that day because I can't take off work. My boss would be angry because I've been absent quite a bit lately. To take something off. When talking about clothes, to take something off means to remove a piece of clothes. To undress. This sweater is too hot. I'm gonna take it off. To take out the garbage. If you take out the garbage, a very common household chore, that's to bring your garbage outside so that it can be collected by the garbage men. You forgot to take out the garbage again. You're grounded. To take out a pet. If you take out a pet, probably a dog, it is to bring them outside so that they can do their business. To do your business means to poop and pee. Thanks for watching our dog. Just make sure to take her out at least once every 2 hours. To take someone out for something. To take someone out for something, usually food or a movie or some type of treat, is to treat someone, meaning to do something for someone for free. Usually, you will treat your friends or family to something or someone that you're attracted to. Oftentimes, when we do this, to indicate that we will pay, we'll say, my treat. It's my treat, meaning, don't worry, I'll pay for it. I wanted to reward him for doing such a good job around the house. So I invited him to a movie. At first he didn't want to go because he thought he would have to pay. But then I told him it was my treat. And then finally after that I took him out to the movie. To tear something up. If you tear something up, it is to rip into many pieces. Most often paper, but it can also be fabric or clothes. I told you to let the dog out at least once every 2 hours. Now she's peed everywhere in the house and she tore up the furniture. To think back on something. To think back on something is to remember something, to reflect, to recollect. When I think back on my childhood, life just really seems so easy when you're younger. To think something over. If you need to think something over, you need to consider it. You need to think of the pros and the cons, the good and the bad. The company offered him a higher paying job, but he really had to think it over because he knew that he would lose some of his family time. To throw something away. If you throw something away, you dispose of it. You put it in the garbage. You make it trash. If you're not going to eat all of that, don't leave it on the table. Throw it away. To turn something down. To turn something down is to refuse something, to decline, to not accept. Maybe you turn down an invitation, an opportunity, someone's request, whatever. I'm going to have to turn down your proposal. I just don't think it's in my best interest. To turn down the volume. When you turn down the volume, it is to decrease the volume, to make something quieter. Hey, it's 2 a.m, turn it down, I can't sleep. To turn something on, to turn something off. To turn something on or off is to switch something on or off, to stop or start the energy flow so that something can work or so that it stops working. Turn off your computer. I think it's going to overheat. The fan's not working. To turn something up. To turn something up is to increase the volume, to make something louder. Turn it up. I can't hear it. To turn up. For someone, to turn up means to do a really good job, to perform well as expected or even better, to do a good job. You played phenomenal today. You really turned up. You're the only reason that we won the match. For something to turn up. If something turns up, it means that it appears unexpectedly. You didn't think that you would find it, but voila, there it is. I can't find my charger. I hope it turns up because otherwise my phone's going to die. To try something on. If you're trying clothes on, it's to sample the clothes, to see how they look on you and if they fit. The rooms where you try clothes on can be called a fitting room or a changing room. I recommend that you get 3 pairs of pants of different sizes and try them all on to see which is the best size. To try something out. Now, to try something out is to test something, to see how it works, if it works well, and if you'll like it. I just bought this new lens for my camera. Let's try it out to see if it works well. I know this TV is expensive, but you can try it out for free for 30 days. And just one U here, so let's take a look. To use something up. If you use something up, you finish the supply. You use all of it. There's nothing left. You used up all of the butter? I needed that to cook dinner. This is it, the W's. Some very good phrasal verbs. I mean, all of them are very helpful. So let's take a look and get started. To wake up. To wake up is to stop sleeping, to get out of bed, to get up. I stayed up way too late last night. It's going to be really hard for me to wake up this morning. Additionally, to wake up means pay attention. Notice what's happening. Be more alert. Hey, wake up. Pay attention or you're going to forget how this works. To warm food up. To warm food up means to make it warm again or hot by putting it either on the stove, in the oven, or in the microwave. I'm gonna eat some of that pizza. Do you want me to warm you up a slice? Now, to warm up a space means to make a room or a house or a building warm, to make it a better temperature so that people don't feel so cold. The house is freezing. Why isn't it warming up? To warm up. Here, to warm up when we're talking about sports or exercising means to prepare your body before you actually run or work out or play that sport. Here, warming up means to stretch, to move around a little bit so that your body is more comfortable and loosened so that you don't hurt yourself. Before a game, we call these warm-ups. We can also say to do warm-ups. Before you go for a run, you should warm up a little bit so you don't hurt any of your muscles. I've got some really good warm-ups that you can do. To warm up to someone. To warm up to someone is either to start feeling more comfortable when you are with someone or to start liking them a little bit more. And in both cases, to start enjoying each other's company more. This takes time because at first, when you first start a relationship, either just a friendship or if you are seeing someone, you don't know each other and there might be some discomfort. So eventually you warm up to that person and it's much more comfortable. We didn't really talk at first, but then we really warmed up to each other and now we're great friends. To wear off. If something wears off, that is to fade away, to not be as noticeable anymore, to have less effect. I was feeling really drunk before, but that feeling is wearing off. I feel pretty sober. To work. For something to work means to function, to operate. My computer is pretty damn old, but it still works. To work out. If you want to work out, that is to exercise, like running or going to the gym. To exercise, to stay in shape, to stay fit, to look good and to feel good, to be healthy and be active. I prefer to work out in the mornings because then I take a cold shower, eat breakfast, and it's a great way to start my day. For something to work out. If something works out, that means that it is a success. A popular question that people ask is, how did it work out? Or how did something work out? It means, how did it go? Or how was it? Did it work out? Basically, was it a success or not? You had a job interview today, didn't you? How did it work out? It went really well. I think I got the job. To work out a problem. If you are working something out, it means you're trying to fix something, solve it, find a solution. People are complaining that the game isn't working because of this glitch. Now we just have to figure out how to work it out and solve the problem. To work something out. To work something out, here meaning a disagreement or dispute, means to find a solution or a compromise. To find a solution that everyone can agree to. I know you two are angry at each other, but I think we can work this out. Whatever you are arguing about, I think we can work it out and find a solution that both of you will be happy with. Alright, that was the W's. So do the review, do the exercises, and let me know if you got any other questions.
Our main topic. We have 5 phrasal verbs: cut back, pay off, profit, rip off, save up. These are really good phrasal verbs. So let's start. Whoops. So let's start here. To cut back on something. To cut back on something means to spend. To spend less on something. So we usually cut back, for example, maybe I'm going to cut back on coffee. So it means I'm going to either drink less or spend less. It depends on the context, because it can mean to spend less or basically also to consume less of something. So I am going to drink less coffee. I could also say I'm going to cut back on coffee. But if I'm talking about purchasing, maybe I'm buying too much new clothes. And I can say I'm going to cut back on clothes. It means I'm going to buy fewer clothes because I'm just spending way too much money. Let's go to our next one now, which is to pay off. This means to end your debt, to not be in debt for something, or basically what we can say is to purchase something. So if I say I'm going to pay off my loans, it means I'm going to pay for them completely, either piece by piece, or it can also mean just to finish paying, or to pay all of it at once. So for example, let's say I am buying a house. I can say I will pay it off, means I will pay for it completely, in 30 years. So it's a 30-year loan. So I'm saying I will pay it off in 30 years. So we can mean it that way. That means in installments, piece by piece, month by month. But I can also say, let's say it's 30 years later. I can say I finally paid off my mortgage. A mortgage is basically your house loan. So I can say I finally paid it off. Or I can say, probably not for a house unless you're super rich, I can say I'm going to pay it off all at once. Maybe some people do, but that is to pay something off. It can just mean to purchase it, but more often to purchase or to pay for something piece by piece by piece. Installments, we call those. Payment installments. All right, to profit from something just means to make money from something, to get money from something. So if I profit from my business, it means I'm getting money, earning money. We can also say to earn money. To earn money from something. The preposition from is important here because you can also just say I profit a lot if there's no object. But usually we profit from something. So I profit from my business. It can also be more abstract. I profit from my studies. It means I get something back. So it can also be more abstract that way. To rip off someone or to rip someone off means like to scam someone, we can also say. A scam means to either to charge someone too much money for something or to basically to deceive someone. So to deceive someone or to trick someone in a financial way. So if someone rips me off, maybe they told me this is a real authentic jersey of Messi. It's Messi's real jersey that he wore last week. And I go, oh wow, and it's only $10,000, but then it's not really his. And I was ripped off. So it can be like a scam to trick me completely, or sometimes you just pay too much money. So let's say maybe I get a new computer, but they trick me, they ripped me off by charging me too much. So it could just be paying too much money, or buying an item, or being tricked into purchasing something that is not real, not authentic, or deceptive in some way. All right, we got one more here, and it's to save up for something. To save up for something means just to save your money, to basically grow your financial reserve. So you save up for a large purchase. If you want to buy a house, you should probably save up a little bit to get a down payment, that first initial payment that a lot of like banks or creditors want to prove that you are financially kind of reliable or dependable. So you save up for big purchases. Or maybe I want to go on vacation. So I probably have to save up a little bit of money. I have to grow the amount of money I have in my bank or in my savings account. And that is to save up for something or to save up to do something. I'm saving up to go on vacation. I'm saving up for a vacation. Quick review. We had to cut back on something. It means to spend less on something. I'm cutting back. Or I cut back last week on my sleep. That's not healthy. To pay off something means either to pay for something completely, but usually in installments, month to month, or however you're paying for something. For example, I paid off my student loans. That's a very popular situation in the US. To profit from something means to get money from something. So I profited from learning Arabic because now I have an extra skill. So it can be more abstract or specifically related to money. To rip someone off or to rip off someone means to either basically to trick someone in a financial way by either having them pay too much money or to completely lie and deceive them. To save up for something just means to build the amount of money, to increase the amount of money you have to purchase that thing. For example, I'm saving up for a new car, but we can also say to save up to do something. I'm saving up to buy a new car. All right, so if you have any questions, send me a message about that. This time, we are focusing on 5 new phrasal verbs related to work, business, and just kind of for more formal situations. The first one we're starting with here is to carry out something. Does anyone know what this means? If you do, good job. To carry something out, first of all, it means like to start doing a task. To do something, basically, to do something. It can mean to start doing it. Like I'm going to carry out the task this afternoon and hopefully I will finish before noon. But it can also mean to accomplish or finish. So I carried out the task. To conduct something. I love that, Zayed. Exactly. And when you conduct something, it also has the meaning of possibly conducting it now. So you're in the process of doing it, but it can also mean that you finished it. So if you want the meaning of finishing, we usually use the past tense. I conducted the meeting. It means I organized and completed the meeting. Or I carried out the project. The project is done and finished. It was in the past. But if I say I am conducting it or implementing, nice, it means happening now. Defined means to make something clear. Yep, exactly. Exactly, Hala. All right, so that is to carry out. If you want, give me some examples and I'll see how you're using it. But especially with a task, we usually carry out tasks. It just means to do it. And that's it. It's great vocab to know. It has nothing, you're kind of actually carrying it, but to carry out, talking about work, means to accomplish a task. If you're getting food, carry out means going to a restaurant and bringing the food back home to eat. So food means bring the food back home from a restaurant to eat. Okay, now take over. This can have a few different meanings in business and it depends on the context. So first of all, I'm going to start here. To take over a business means to become basically the owner or CEO, or to get a majority of the stock, to be a majority stockholder, basically. But another one related to tasks means to become the leader of an assignment or project. So that's to take over something. So it becomes your responsibility. It becomes your responsibility. We're carrying out an investigation regarding Mrs. Smith's death. Excellent, Zayed. I love it. So let's take over. So you can take over something, meaning to become like the owner, the CEO, or the executive. Overtaking is different. Overtaking is more about like the path. It's more about the process of taking over. To overtake also means like to pass someone. Like that. That's overtaking, like in a race. So a little bit different there, but good example. So to take over, I'm taking over this project, you are not doing a good job. That's one example. But a takeover is the specific term that we use when we describe this process of acquiring or getting a business. Technology is taking over books, excellent example. So there it's also about kind of authority and leadership in a more abstract way, a great example. Now to take on. This has a few uses too. Let's start here. To take on, if a business is taking on employees, it means to hire new employees. So I can say, are you taking on new employees at the moment? And they're like, no, sorry, we're not taking on anyone. We have no resources or we have no need for new employees. But second, to take on something like a task, to take on a task means basically to carry out a task. To do something, to assume responsibility for a project or assignment. So maybe you have a meeting with your boss and they say, who wants to take on this task, this very big project? You say, I will take it on. I will do it. I will assume responsibility. But remember, it also means to start hiring. If a company or a manager is taking on employees, they are hiring employees. Kind of the opposite of that is to lay off. To lay off employees is basically to fire, but not because you did anything wrong. Usually just because the company is in financial difficulty. So if a company is starting To lay off, it's basically firing employees. But you didn't do anything bad, and the government, for example, in the US, will give you more help because of that. So if a company is laying off employees, they're probably losing money, in debt, need help in some way. Let's see if you guys can give me some examples about that, all right? And then another really good one, our last one, to knuckle down. To knuckle down is basically, the link for this document, Sandra, is in the description if you want to check it out. To knuckle down means to really, I'm trying to think of another expression we can use here. To gear up? No, I think this is to gear up, to work as hard as possible. To stop being like lazy, or basically to give 110 or even 100% of your effort, all of your effort. To give all of your effort. So if you knuckle down, you give all of your effort. You are completely focused, giving all of your effort, determination, focus, and energy. You're giving everything that you can give. So it's like, we don't have much time. We have to knuckle down. We could say to knuckle down on something. To knuckle down on something. So we have to knuckle down on this project. Quit lollygagging. To lollygag is like to be lazy. I think this is, I don't spell this word a lot. To lollygag, to be lazy. To work hard, exactly, but not just hard, more than hard. To knuckle down, because it's like you're basically in a fight, you're getting scratches. It's much more intense than just working hard. Hey Kayala, nice to see you. So that's to knuckle down, to put in all of your effort. We only have 10 more minutes. We got to knuckle down and finish this project. Let's do a quick review. To carry out can mean two things. To just be doing a project, or to have finished. That's usually with the past tense. To take over, if we're talking about a company, means to get like the majority stock ownership. Or it can just mean like to become the owner, the CEO, or to become the leader in a project or something like that. To take on can mean hiring new employees. It can also mean to assume responsibility for a project. To lay off is basically the opposite. To basically fire employees, but not because of anything they did, just because you don't need them anymore. Maybe they're being replaced by technology, or you're losing money in the company. And to knuckle down, to work 100% as hard as possible. All right. And to take off, let's see. To take off is different. It can mean in business, to take off can mean that a company's doing very well, especially towards the beginning. This new company, this new startup is really taking off. And of course, for a plane takes off too. All right. So our topic right now, I've got some super good phrasal verbs for you, about 4, maybe actually quite a bit more because they have different meanings related to hobbies and interests. So let's start here. Number 1, to join in on something. To join in on something just means to participate. To participate, to get involved in something, to take part in something. So if I want to volunteer, there's an organization, I can say I want to take part, or I want to join in on the activity. Usually it's to join in on an activity and to take part in something. So I take part in the organization and I join in on their activities. So it's really good. What types of activities or what types of organizations or things do you take part in, or do you join in on? Then we have to get into something. Whenever you get a new hobby, you get into it. To get into something just means for that thing to get your interest. So for example, learning English. You're getting into learning English. It means you're starting to get interested, or you kind of already do it as a hobby. Especially for fun. When we talk about these things, we're really saying that we do them for fun. So that is to get into something. So for example, right now it's the NBA, the National Basketball Association. That's happening now. So I'm getting into basketball. It means I'm watching it, I'm participating, I'm getting involved. Mostly by watching. I don't play basketball because I suck. But if you want to, try writing an example with to get into something. Or what are you getting into? What did you used to get into but not anymore? Give me some examples about that. What about to keep up? Keep up on something. To keep up on something can have three important uses. Number one, it means to update yourself. So for example, the news. If I keep up on the news, it means I stay updated and informed. I know what is happening when we are talking about the news. If to say to keep doing something, to keep doing something means to continue doing this activity. So if I keep drinking coffee in the morning, it means I'm just continuing to do it. If I keep doing these lives, I do these lives continuously. It continues. So remember, to keep doing. So we need the ing form there. And I think we had one more. Oh, to keep up on someone. To keep up on someone just means to pay attention to someone, to see how they are. We can also say to check in on someone. This is more like if you're taking care of someone, babysitting, maybe an older, like a senior, older individual. So I need to keep up on my grandma to see how she's doing. Or I need to keep up on the kids. I need to pay attention to the kids and see how they're doing in school. But the one here for talking about hobbies and interests is to keep doing something, means just to keep doing that thing. So for example, I started flying drones and I'm keeping up on it. So I'm continuing to do it. So to keep up on something when talking about an activity means to keep doing it, to remain focused and interested. And then kind of the opposite now to finish, we have to pack it in. To pack it in as an expression by itself, we don't change this, we just say we're packing it in. We never replace it with the actual noun, it's always just pack it in, and it means to quit. It can mean to quit permanently, forever, or it can mean just temporary, like today. I'm packing it in today, and maybe I'll finish more tomorrow. Or I'm packing it in, like I'm completely done. I hate this. Maybe I like to roller skate, but then I get injured or something bad happens, I say, I'm packing it in. I'm done forever. Or, again, it could just be bad weather today. So I say, I'm packing it in today, you guys. It's raining. Let's just finish. All right, so let's see. What did we have here? If you want to practice, give me some examples with join in on something. Give me some practice with get into something, keep up on something or someone, and finally to pack it in. And for pack it in, we can also just say to give up and call it quits. All right, so that was it. Let me know if you have any questions. All right, so our topic right now, I've got some super good phrasal verbs for you, about 4, maybe actually quite a bit more because they have different meanings related to hobbies and interests. So let's start here. Number 1, to join in on something. To join in on something just means to participate. To participate, to get involved in something, to take part in something. So if I want to volunteer, there's an organization, I can say I want to take part or I want to join in on the activity. Usually it's to join in on an activity and to take part in something. So I take part in the organization and I join in on their activities. So it's really good. What types of activities or what types of organizations or things do you take part in or do you join in on? Then we have to get into something. Whenever you get a new hobby, you get into it. To get into something just means for that thing to get your interest. So for example, learning English. You're getting into learning English. It means you're starting to get interested or you kind of already do it as a hobby. Especially for fun. When we talk about these things, we're really saying that we do them for fun. So that is to get into something. So for example, right now it's the NBA, the National Basketball Association. That's happening now. So I'm getting into basketball. It means I'm watching it, I'm participating, I'm getting involved. Mostly by watching. I don't play basketball because I suck. But if you want to, try writing an example with to get into something. Or what are you getting into? What did you used to get into but not anymore? Give me some examples about that. What about to keep up on something? To keep up on something can have 3 important uses. Number 1, it means to update yourself. So for example, the news. If I keep up on the news, it means I stay updated and informed. I know what is happening when we are talking about the news. If to say to keep doing something, to keep doing something means to continue doing this activity. So if I keep drinking coffee in the morning, it means I'm just continuing to do it. If I keep doing these lives, I do these lives continuously. It continues. So remember, to keep doing. So we need the ing form there. And I think we had one more. Oh, to keep up on someone. To keep up on someone just means to pay attention to someone, to see how they are. We can also say to check in on someone. This is more like if you're taking care of someone, babysitting, maybe an older, like a senior, older individual. So I need to keep up on my grandma to see how she's doing. Or I need to keep up on the kids. I need to pay attention to the kids and see how they're doing in school. But the one here for talking about hobbies and interests is to keep doing something. Means just to keep doing that thing. So for example, I started flying drones and I'm keeping up on it. So I'm continuing to do it. So to keep up on something when talking about an activity means to keep doing it, to remain focused and interested. And then kind of the opposite now, to finish, we have to pack it in. To pack it in as an expression by itself, we don't change this, we just say we're packing it in. We never replace it with the actual noun, it's always just pack it in, and it means to quit. It can mean to quit permanently, forever, or it can mean just temporary, like today. I'm packing it in today, and maybe I'll finish more tomorrow. Or I'm packing it in, like I'm completely done. I hate this. Maybe I like to roller skate, but then I get injured or something bad happens, I say, I'm packing it in. I'm done forever. Or, again, it could just be bad weather today. So I say, I'm packing it in today, you guys. It's raining. Let's just finish. All right, so let's see. What did we have here? If you want to practice, give me some examples with join in on something. Give me some practice with get into something, keep up on something or someone, and finally, to pack it in. And for pack it in, we can also just say to give up and call it quits. All right, so that was it. Let me know if you have any questions.